Hey, how you doing? My name is Randy, and I'm going to show you how to replace the shock absorbers on your LG front load washer. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to go ahead and order your replacement shock absorbers. You can find these on Amazon. The part number is going to be right here. I will also put the part number in the description, as well as a link to an Amazon shop where you can purchase them. Now, your shock absorbers on your machine are probably not going to look like this. Okay, that is perfectly okay. These shock absorbers are universal. They will work for any front load LG washer, no questions asked. I've actually done this for about 8 years, and I've never had an issue with the quality of them. And they run about $20, so they're definitely not very expensive, and this is definitely a job that you can do, and I'm going to get into it with you. But before we do that, I just have one other thing to cover. Okay, so before I get into showing you exactly what to do, I'll let you know that there are actually 2 videos now. This is the second one, where I am showing different methods on how to do the LG shock absorber replacement. The first video that I posted doesn't require taking the machine apart, other than taking the panel off the back of the machine. That method is designed more for people that don't have their washers on a pedestal, which is the drawer that goes underneath the washer. Mosquito, sorry. Or if you have a larger laundry room where you can actually turn your machine on side to gain access through the bottom, where there's a large hole in the bottom of the washer, to do the shock absorber replacement. If that's not you, if you have a pedestal on your machine, you're not going to be able to do it that way. Or if you have a smaller laundry room where you can't turn the machine on its side, or if you don't have the ability to drag it outside, this video is for you. And if you haven't come across my other video, and you're interested in seeing that version of how this is done, feel free to go down in the description. I will have a link to that video, and you can watch that one as well. So let's get into it. So like my other video, the first place we're going to start is right here in the back where this panel is. Okay, we want to take that panel off. And to do that, we're going to remove 4 screws. You're going to have one right here, one down here, one right here, and one right here. We're just going to take those out. Okay, once you've got all your screws out, you can go ahead and just grab the panel and just kind of pull it towards you. Pop it off and set it off to the side. And this is going to give us access to the first shock absorber, which is this guy right here. This shock absorber is held in place by 2 plastic pins. There's one right here, and there is one down here. And that plastic pin looks like this, and it's got this little tab right here that, as you're inserting it through here, the tab gets pressed down, and when it comes out the other side, it pops up and locks it in place. So we want to remove those, and to do that, you're going to want to make sure that that tab is pressed in right there. Okay, so a little trick that I have found over the years that makes this super simple to do is to get a 13mm deep socket, and you just want to go ahead and slip that right over this end, and it'll sit on there perfectly. You can grab a pair of channel locks and come on the other side, grab the pin, and just wiggle it out. And now that that one's out, you do the same thing down here. Just slip it over this side of the pin. Grab your channel locks and pull it out. And you can go ahead and just pull that shock absorber completely out and toss it off to the side. And you get your new shock absorber. You just want to insert it down in there, in between those 2 plastic tabs. Okay, get the holes lined up, get your pin, pop it back in there, with your hand about halfway and hit it back in. And you come up to the top here and just pull up on the shock absorber, get it in between those two plastic tabs, get the hose lined up, take your other pin, pop it in a little bit, and hammer that one in as well. And that's it for replacing that one. Now we will move towards the front, where we'll actually take the front panel of the machine off to gain access to that shock absorber right there, as well as the shock that is back over here. And the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to take the lid off the machine. And to do that, you'll come back to the back and you'll look at these little plastic tabs right here and right here that hold the lid in place. There are 2 screws on this one and 2 screws on this one, but you only need to take out this bottom screw. So you'll take out this one and this one. And then you can come back to the front of your machine. You want to grab the lid on both sides, and then you just want to push back on it. And it'll slide back, and you can lift it up and take it off. All right, next we're going to take out the dispenser drawer. You'll pull it out towards you. And once you've got it pulled out, there's a little plastic tab right here that's got an indentation. You're going to put your finger on it, press down, and pull the drawer out towards you to remove it. Now you're going to want to remove the 2 screws that hold this in place, one right here and one right here. Once you've got those out, come around to the back side of the control panel, and you've got a screw right here that you want to take out. Next, you're going to want to come down here where this little door is. That is the door that gives you access to the filter. Come in here and just take that off completely. And you'll see that you have a screw right here that you need to remove. Some models will have a screw here and a screw here, so just double check and then remove them. Once you take that screw out, this will just pop out, and there's going to be one more screw right down here that you need to remove. Next, we're going to remove the control panel. And what you want to do is you want to grab it up here on the top with your fingertips and just try to work this plastic back a little bit until it pops off like that. Now, in the event that it doesn't pop off that easily, because sometimes they don't, what you can do is you can grab a flathead screwdriver and come up underneath right here. And then this one is coming off easy, so I just push it off like it was nothing. But when they're a little stuck, you can put it in between here, pop it up, and then just work your way over. And what you're trying to do is release these tabs that go in this little metal slots right here. And you would just work it all the way across until it pops up. And then you can take your control panel and you can just set it up here. Now go ahead and open up your door, and we're going to want to remove the metal ring that holds the boot seal in place right here. Okay, so here's a closer look of our boot seal, and if you come back around the side right here in this little groove, you can see there is a piece of metal. It's a round spring that holds it in place all the way around here. And to get that off, just take that flathead screwdriver that you had and gently get up underneath it and pull it out towards you, and the whole thing will come right off. Next, we're going to go ahead and take off the actual front panel, and to do that, you're going to remove these screws. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this particular model. Not all of them are the same. Some have 4 screws, some have 5, and some have 6. So whatever screws are holding the door in place, just go ahead and remove all those. Now, if you run into a situation like I just did, where your screw is super rusty and you're trying to use a Phillips bit and you can't get it off, what you can do is use a 7mm, you can use a 7mm hex nut, and that will fit right on there perfectly. So I actually put mine on an extension so that I don't have to worry about trying to get my drill up so close. It makes it a little easier to get on it. And it comes right off. Okay, now you want to go ahead and just work this boot seal back behind the door. Close your door up. And then you want to look over the top, come down here to where your door switch is, and you've got the wire that connects to the door switch. You just want to press in on that and pull it down and out. And then you can go ahead and remove your front panel, and all you have to do is lean it towards you, pick it up, lift it out, and set it off to the side. Okay, so now we have it open and you can actually see the shock absorbers from here. But to make it a little bit easier to get to them, we're going to go ahead and remove this counterweight right there. And to do that, you want to use a 10mm socket. And you're going to remove 4 screws. You got one here, 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 and here. Alright, so I actually messed up and deleted the footage somehow that I had previously recorded for this part. So I am redoing it. I apologize, there's not as much light as there was before. But next we're just going to want to go ahead and remove the counterweight. Now that you've got it pulled off, we'll go ahead and replace the shocks. Okay, so you're going to take your socket that you had from before, and you're going to come around the back side where this pin is, and you're going to pop it on there. And then use your channel locks to pull the pin out. And then we'll do the same thing for the bottom. Alright, now you're going to want to put your new shock absorber in. And put your pin through. Now with these, I usually like to put it through the back and then hammer it in. It just seems to be a little bit easier that way. And we'll go up to the top here. And just slide it in there, line up the hole, and pop that pin in, and you'll probably be able to just push it in with your hand. If not, you can use a hammer to hammer it in. Start at the top. And then we'll do the bottom. I'll try to get a good angle for you here. This drain hose is in the way. Pop that on there. Pull it off. Get your new one. Just like the other side, set it in there. Put your pin in. Top up, set that one in its place. You might have to push your tub back a little bit. I'm going to try to do this while I'm holding the phone here. If you push your tub back just a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier to squeeze it in there. Stick it in, and we'll see if we can get it in with our hand. Just make sure it goes all the way in. And now all of your shocks are replaced and the actual repair itself is done. Now it's just a matter of putting the machine back together. Go ahead and take your counterweight and put it back on. Make sure it's on all the way. Screw it back in. And next we're going to go ahead and put our door back on. But before we do that, I just want to show you that down here you've got 3 little metal tabs. Okay, when you go to put your door back on, let me flip this around to show you. You have 3 slits in your front panel, and you're gonna make sure that the metal tabs from the washer go into each one of these slits. And you want to go ahead and get the screws that hold the front panel in place, as well as the drill, up where you can reach them and ready to use. Do not forget that you need to reconnect your door switch. So just reach over the top here and reconnect that switch. Make sure that you press it in all the way. And then just put all the screws back in place that hold the door up. Take your control panel, set it down on there, kind of pop it in place. Put your screws that hold the dispenser tray back in place. Slide your dispenser in. And you've got the screw that holds the control panel in place that you want to put back. And you want to put these screws back in place, the one that goes right here. When you put this back on, your drain hose for the filter will go through this small circle right here. And then you can screw that in. There's a little clip right here that holds this hose. Just clip that on there. Pop the little door back on. Now this last part is what seems to be the most difficult thing for people. What I have seen that they have the hardest time with. You know, want to open your door, the boot seal back where it needs to be, which that in of itself is not the difficult part. The difficult part is getting the spring back on. So to do this, you're just going to kind of pull the boot seal through all the way. Now there's a little metal lip right here. You want to take your boot seal and you just want to work it over that and then go all the way around. Until it's all the way on there, and you just want to double check and make sure that it's nice and flush, that there's no areas that are popped up. And again, this is the part that really gets people, is putting this spring back on. So what we're going to do is we're going to start up here. Okay, so this is the ring that has to go around this right here. You want to make sure that the spring is at the bottom down here, and I usually will off center it to the right just a little bit, and then there is a groove right here that you want to make sure that it goes into, and I will usually put it about halfway on like that. Okay. Amazon sells a spreader tool that you can use to grab the spring down here and separate it so that it stretches it and makes it easy to put on. It's like 15 bucks. I don't recommend buying it just because you don't need to spend the money. Really, all you need is a pair of needle nose pliers. And what you want to do is go from right to left. You want to grab, there's a little hook down here that you can, a little place that you can hook into with your pliers. And then you just want to pull to the left, let it stretch out, and work it in. And once it's all the way in, you can release it. That's it. Now it's all back together. You got new shocks on, and your machine should be good to go.